Now we're going to be joined by Sav and Lachlan from I Am Not Paper. So back in the 80s, Sav was given the all-important role in his school play as the star performer, The Tree. I'm not sure which tree, and maybe we'll find out. But this affection for nature has followed him throughout his career, and he is now an industrial designer, lecturer, and eco-thinker. Sav created I'm Not Paper as a way to take immediate action to reduce the use of forest-reliant paper products and reduce our reliance on toxic plastic packaging. He is driven by the destruction caused by deforestation and plastic pollution, which is causing an extinction crisis in many parts of our world. His partner in crime, Lachlan, was once a grindcore kid, then a delusioned by mistake corporate warrior, and now someone who loves the variety and breadth of Australia's carnivorous plant life. Lachlan believes that I'm Not Paper is the best way to try and make a real difference to the only planet that we have. What an intro, boys. I mean, where do we go from there? Can you tell me a little bit about this incredible product that we've been learning a lot about over the last couple of months?
Well, thanks for being, letting us be a part of all this. We'll try to make the intro a little bit softer, I guess. But no, it's been an amazing journey for us. And I think, we're just pretty much here to rethink what we do as an industry or suppliers, designers, of materials and products, and how do we, reconsider what we do to support the trend, the environment, keeping a light footprint to our planet, I guess. So, yeah, that's pretty much what we're here to do.
Okay.
Well, using a lot of your skills and thinking and development work over time to...
Thanks with all the teams, it's not just me, that's for sure.
Yeah. But as the founder, anyway, to like the circular thinking discussion that we've been having so far today really resonates strongly with what we do, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So maybe you should explain our Design by Gorillas, etc.
Yeah, well, it's all about circular thinking, I guess, and the way we look at the design thinking side of it is it's pretty much a journey. I think that's the simplest way without sounding too much of dick.
No.
It's a journey that we want to take our products and what we do, and it's fast forward, rewind. And I guess if you're developing a coffee cup or a piece of packaging or a product, wherever it may be, I think what we want to be doing is just set ourselves on a journey path for that product. And I think Lachlan made a good point. And an easy way to sort of describe that is one of our taglines: designed by gorillas, approved by dolphins, served by baristas in today's topic. So what does that mean? I'll just quickly touch designed by gorillas. Let's take a step back. Yeah. So if we're going to design or develop or introduce product out into the market, let's go straight to the roots. A gorilla, it's the king of the jungle, and his home is forests and trees. So let's look at that as the first thing. So what that means is what materials, which is a massive part of circular thinking, when we first start, what materials can we use to create a coffee cup? Does it need to be tree pulp? No, it could be something else to protect the habitat and the forestry. We move to current state, served by baristas. That's when it's actually in our hands and it's served by the amazing baristas and coffee shops out there, and the public who interact and feel hold. It feels great, tastes good. So how can we design and develop a product that suits the current state?
And changing the paradigm from a single-use plastic lid into a lid that is made from agricultural byproducts, so
Absolutely.
Zero ecosystems, zero trees. Even if you think about FSC and other accreditation schemes for so-called managed forestry, there's still an ecosystem, there's still animals living in them, and there's still land that could be a fully fledged ecosystem. So the thinking around our lid, the thinking around the material that Sav has come up with, that everything is made from, is to take an agricultural byproduct, the stems of a rice plant, a wheat plant, a barley plant, a fast-growing bamboo, something along those lines, turn it into, replace the trees, replace the ecosystem-based materials with those fast-growing and agricultural byproducts, remove the plastic, and form a lid that has no hydrocarbons, that will biodegrade between 31 and 67 days. And sorry, I've jumped onto the next part, which is
I'm happy that you're here, mate.
the end point. So the final stage is the
barista.
Yeah.
Now the final is approved by dolphins.
So
take us.
Sorry, yeah. We actually, the best way to describe that, I haven't actually told you this. We picked up a new customer down on the surf coast in Victoria, and they do events. And they were telling me on Instagram the other day that they've got a caravan and they go to a piece of, on a beach or in a national park, and they have an event, a wedding or whatever, and they're now using our cups and lids and our straws, and they dig a hole in the ground, and everyone just throws their cups and their lids and their straws into the hole, and then at the end of the event, they all jump on them, mix it in with a heap of dirt and a bit of water, and then they just walk away from it because it's completely compostable.
Yeah.
So it basically...
Yeah. I mean, that's incredible. Talk to me a little bit about... I know it's a very difficult industry at the moment to get approved. A lot of people I know are going to be asking, is this approved home compostable? Because a lot of people contact us going, what do we get a home compostable product? Because there is so much greenwashing, as you know, with compostable products. It's a free for all out there. What are your thoughts on that?
You can go.
Similar to what you're saying, I mean, we've talked to a lot of groups around the world, not just in Australia. Every country seems to have multiple different standards and accreditation groups, etc. So what we've done is basically gone cut through. We've gotten NATA accredited labs in Germany and in Australia to do scientific testing. So the National Association of Testing Authority accredited labs who do all of the food safety testing and so on for milk products, meat products, etc. And they've done in-lab tests on compostability. And so the results we get back are, depending on the levels of moisture, depending on the levels of physical agitation, the levels of heat within the system, our products will compost in between 31 and 67 days. We haven't gone down the path necessarily, and we're happy to share those reports with anybody. In fact, are they on the website yet?
We can put them up, yeah.
We have discussed that. Anyway, we're happy to share those reports with anyone that wants to see them, but there's so many different accreditation groups, we haven't gone down the path of doing that.
And I think what's important is understanding when we develop a product, we'll make sure of it, remove the hydrocarbons out there because we actually develop our materials. And I mean, there's a whole bunch of our own samples that we throw out, compost ourselves. So we just want to be sure that it does work for us. We dispose it, we compost it, we dig a hole and put it in, and it actually works, And it is a difficult thing, fighting the testing to get it right because there's so many parameters on getting a result. Like what Lachlan rightly said, the environment, the soil temperature, the agitation growth. Is it a new soil? Is it a soil that has a lot of bacteria? So it's a very hard thing. And we understand it's not so much greenwashing, but it's just a difficult process to do because there's so many variables on when you actually throw something out or in a compost.
But there is a difference between commercial composting, which has a very specific requirement, and you are saying that your product does not need to go to a commercial composter, basically.
Yeah, that's right. Like, and again, a commercial world, I mean, the reason why there's a difference between home compost and a commercial on a cup, if we're just talking a cup, is the actual lining that's used on the inside. So it needs to be waterproof, it needs to be seeped through, so it can actually hold the hot contact. Now, I can tell you, we spent a lot of time in getting to where we're at with the lining itself, but it's a very difficult job. We've had a lot of linings that are so eco, but they just fall apart. So we couldn't introduce that. But the board itself, you could pretty much throw it anywhere and it will compose at home. We've got to a point where our lining will compose at home, buried, but it needs more time than the actual lid itself, which has no addition of a molecular substance on it, so not a separate part to it.
Here's another curly question. What's the feedback from consumers? What do they think about the lid specifically?
Well, it's great because they test it. I mean, we've got some serious people out there, which we love. And they don't want to hear it, and they jump on our Instagram, and we repost it. They actually throw it away. They throw it in their compost heaps, and then call us, a week, 2 weeks later with some results and say, "Wow, this is actually disappearing." So we're happy to see that. So it's not us saying it; it's just what people think, and we're proud of that.
We've had people take photos at 7-day intervals over the space of 2 months, monitoring the decomposition in their own gardens. Sorry, there was something else in your question. The feedback. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that some people said that the lid might taste a bit funny, which there's no proof to actually. I mean, because there's so many people say one of the biggest.
Get it. It's not plastic. It's absolutely. It has a different mouthfeel. It feels great for us, but it's not us to judge or to explain that. But I think it could be. There's a psychological factor on that, but
because it's different.
It's different
because it's different. People sometimes react just to change,
new things.
The only real challenge we've had to the lid across Australia, the only groups, we've had 3 people come back to us and say that they've got a challenge with the lid, and they're all in Queensland. Now, I still live in Queensland, so I can say that because I love Brisbane, but they've all been in Queensland for some reason. But we use these cups every day, and we've had nobody, or we don't taste any difference. We haven't had anybody else from any other state come back with any flavour challenges. So it's funny.
Look, we're going to have to move on, but I love the passion that you, just working with you for the last couple of months, seeing the passion you have for the design thinking and the products that you're working with, and also the amazing businesses that you're working with to solve some of these huge issues. So huge, well done. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about your mission? Because it sounds like you are on an absolute mission with that gorilla.
Oh, we're getting there. We're just excited to work with everybody. There's so much positivity out there on the cafes that use our product. It's an amazing, journey and feedback, and just working with them. It's just great.
I think the only other thing really that we haven't touched on is a percentage of all of our profits. And I'm not going to give you a number today because we haven't quite got there. We're working on what we're calling the Love Trees project and our missions. And basically, we are taking a percentage of our profits and ploughing it back into exciting. Other projects.
Education, awareness,
I'm working with Footscray High School in Melbourne, one of the inner western high schools, and they're doing an urban forestry project on one of their campuses to try and create a mini ecosystem for birds and so on at that campus. And that's just a start. We're talking to people in both Tasmania and Queensland about projects to save the spotted quoll from extinction, and we're going to be ploughing some of the profits that we make once we've got some profit to plough back in.
Brilliant. That's a fantastic story.
Over and above.
Yeah, love it. It's just a feel good on all levels. So great work, guys.